There's a company out in Everett, Safeology, that uses ultraviolet light technology to kill over 99% of COVID viruses on surfaces. So the head of the company, the CEO, Jim Mischel, says, there's no reason why we cannot reopen schools safely for instructors, for cafeteria staff, for faculty, teachers, counselors, etc. There's no reason why we can't make schools safe. And I asked him if he'd join me for a couple of minutes to talk about it. Jim, good to have you on the program this morning.
Thanks, John.
So tell me how this works. Tell me how this technology works.
Well, what's unique is UV has been around for at least 100 years, killing viruses in hospitals across the United States, around the world, including things like tuberculosis. And recently,
let's start at the very beginning. Tell our audience what UV, ultraviolet. Tell us what it is and how it works.
It's basically light, and a lot of us experience UV by going outside. It's produced by the sun, but that's UVA and UVB. What I'm talking about is UVC, and how it works. Oddly enough, UVC doesn't enter through our atmosphere, so we don't experience it day in and day out. But we can reproduce it. And what it is wavelengths between 200 and about 280 nanometers. And these waves actually affect the DNA and the RNA of viruses. And what happens is the DNA and the RNA is actually affected in such a way that it can't reproduce itself. So what's unique about the SARS-CoV-2 virus, what everyone calls the coronavirus, or what causes the COVID-19 disease, is in the scale of viruses, it's just a single RNA virus, and it's pretty weak against UV, and especially UVC. So the principle is just apply light to your surfaces and to the air, and you will basically disable the virus.
So why isn't this already being done all over the place?
Well, it's being used in hospitals, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing is we need to get this idea out there in schools, at the airports, in hotels, and you're beginning to see definitely an awakening regarding UVC. I think you'll see it everywhere in the next couple of years for sure. We're racing to get it out in public education and in hotels and on cruise ships and especially in airports as well. So,
do you think there's anything to the case for not opening schools?
Well, that's not my call. What I could tell you is we could definitively kill the coronavirus on surfaces and in the air and make schools probably one of the safest places to be if we spend a little bit of money. And this doesn't cost that much money. Literally, we calculate it's about $2 a room a day to do this. So it's very effective. And if you clean your rooms and use UV, I don't see why kids can't go back to school. And in fact, I don't see why people can't go back to work and go to the airport and get on buses and everywhere else.
That was my next question. How accessible would this be for, say, homes and for small businesses? How accessible is it now?
Well, it's ultimately you will see it in homes and small businesses. The products that we're building are more for your commercial public environments. They're a lot larger. They're more powerful. The trick with UV is you have to do it in a safe way. And so you can go, online and see UV products, and you want to be careful with your standard UV bulb. It is harmful to humans if you look at it or affects your skin. So we've developed a way to use UVC safely.
How do
where
you
people aren't
how do you
present.
deliver it? How do you deliver it? Do you just shine the light on a surface? What? How does it work?
Yeah, well, imagine a large tower, and it's multiple-sided with lamps, and it has a bunch of unique features to it. It actually can scan a room and determine the size of the room and how much dosage is required. So this is about dosage. The coronavirus requires just a certain amount of dosage to be disabled. And so basically, imagine you roll it into a room. You leave the room, you turn it on, and 10 minutes later, the entire room is disinfected. And you could have many of these units in an entire school, and you could actually see what they're all doing, and you could record the data, and you could, give the data to the Department of Education to show them that you've cleaned the schools.
Now, is there any radiation danger to the people who enter the room right after you've treated it?
Well, that's what's great about it. Light goes, the speed of light is 3 times 10 to the 9th meters per second, and so it's about it's over as fast as you've done it. So the moment you turn it off, everything's totally safe. You roll it out of the room, and people can enter the room. What's great about this product is you're not spraying the room with chemicals, and so literally you're disinfecting the room with the power of light.
This is fascinating. Boy, you can actually. I mean, this is beyond just COVID. I mean, this could be used every flu season, right?
Oh, I think it's so important for the flu. I mean, literally, imagine the impact if schools were doing this, every year. Yeah, the flu season, I mean, you would dramatically reduce the spread of the flu. There's no doubt about it.
Jim, what's your next step?
Well, Safeology, we're doing some exciting things over here. We have our team of scientists, and we're up here in Everett. And we're just trying to our next step is get the word out. People don't know about the technology and how useful it is. So we're just trying to spread the word. We have a number of really amazing products coming out, and our team has been fantastic. I mean, we've developed these products very quickly for these various markets. And we've been blessed because it just so happens we're a pretty decent-sized lighting company, and everything we've done in the last 20 years in lighting applies to this very moment for us. And so we're rolling out a bunch of products right now. So spread the word is the true plan at the moment. We are talking to a number of schools in the area too.
Or businesses. I mean, that would seem to be, if a business or a school or a government agency wanted more information, who do they go to?
Just check out Safeology.com, and they can look at our website, Safeology. That's right, .com.
Safeology.com. Jim Mischel, thanks very much for joining me. Appreciate you taking the time this morning, Jim, okay?
Thanks, John. Really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Again, that's Safeology.com if you're curious about this technology. You're listening to The Commute with Carlson.